Well, Nelson Naya of Sasfin Securities joins us via Skype to discuss the impact on and expectations of business going into tonight's announcement by the President. So, Nelson, we know that the President met with business leaders yesterday, most of them very reassured after that meeting. But what can we expect going forward?
Sean, I think the measures intended to prevent people from mingling are going to escalate right now. Clearly, the social distancing is one way of preventing the spread of the virus, and I think that's first and foremost in the minds of the President and the leadership in general. Expectations are that there'll be some sort of curfews in place, some sort of measures to prevent people from traveling, communicating. I don't want to use the word lockdown because I think that's still very speculative, but there is talk about shopping malls closing. Which is going to impact a lot of the listed companies that own these shopping malls, and measures in place, to prevent people from traveling and thereby spreading the virus.
So we know that the business sector will be largely impacted on if there are further measures put in place. Already we're seeing a drop in business at restaurants because they have to stop serving alcohol at 6 p.m. and also people are afraid to gather in masses. What do you think government can do to cushion the blow for the business sector?
I think we'll have to, obviously put in some immediate sort of assistance, financial assistance for these businesses. There is obviously going to be some sort of moratorium on debt repayments or something like that has to be done because these businesses actually base their business model on being able to generate revenue in an environment now where, that's actually not going to happen. I mean, for health and safety reasons, revenues are going to basically collapse in a lot of the service industries, restaurants, hotels, that sort of thing. And I think the initiative should be put in place to make sure that, these businesses don't find themselves bankrupt in the next 3 weeks. So I think he met with the banks, the property owners, the landlords, if you like, maybe to try and get them to at least agree on how to deal with the economic fallout as a result of this.
So we're seeing the rand hitting fresh lows against the US dollar and other major currencies. What can be done to stop the panic on the markets, if that's even possible?
Listen, the markets will panic. There's very little that can be done without trying to stop the financial system. In other words, basically closing down the market. Although I don't think that's going to necessarily help in the short term. It might actually create a little bit more panic. But right now, investors need to remain calm. We don't really know the full impact that it's going to have on companies' long-term profitabilities. I think the quicker we stem the spread of the virus, the less effect it has, on the economy long term. But, to make any decisions right now on your long-term investments, based on something that, if we have the right behavior, we can stem in a much shorter period of time, wouldn't be very smart.
All right. Thanks so much for the insight. Appreciate it. Nelson Naya of Sasfin Securities.